The ABC 7 News I-team revealed 9 companies, part of the Plumpjack Group founded by Governor Newsom, received millions in funding through the Paycheck Protection Program. The intent of the federal program was to keep small businesses afloat during the pandemic.
New data released by the SBA and analyzed by ABC 7 News indicates Plumpjack businesses, including wineries, bars, and restaurants, 8 of which are partially owned by Governor Newsom, received nearly $3 million in PPP loans. Good evening, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Ahmed Dates. We want to remind those of you just joining us, in 2018, Newsom placed his ownership interest in the Plumpjack Group into a blind trust. This means he would have no knowledge or role in the company's business decisions made during his time in office.
And tonight we've heard from hundreds of you responding to the story, many of whom are small business owners who struggle to get access to this PPP money.
Yeah, ABC 7 News I-team reporter Stephanie Sierra joins us live to share this new reaction to our investigation. Stephanie.
Yes, Amma and Dan, over the course of the past 24 hours, we've heard from dozens of small business owners who shared their experiences struggling to get access to this money. It gives us a closer look at who had the resources to put forth the best loan application and those who didn't.
Seems like a lot of the large companies were being taken care of by the banks first, and the small guys like me were kind of left on the sidelines.
Joe Field is the owner of a Concord-based comic book store called Flying Colors Comics. We followed his journey to get a PPP loan since the federal lending program first opened on April 3rd. Field applied that day, but struggled to get money for months. ABC 7's data analysis found one of the Plumpjack businesses, Villa Encinal Partners LP, that received more than $918,000, got their loan approved on April 14th. That's 11 days after the lending program launched. It took Field 90 days to get his $40,000 loan approved. He tried applying through 4 different banks and eventually received the money in late June.
It wasn't until that day, with 2 hours to spare, that we finally were able to get through.
Villa Encinal Partners LP is one of at least 9 companies of the Plumpjack Group that collectively received nearly $3 million in PPP loans. 8 of those companies Governor Gavin Newsom partially owns. It's important to note Newsom's interests in those 8 companies are in a blind trust. According to Newsom's 2019 Statement of Economic Interest, he received a gross income over $100,000 just from Villa Encinal Partners. This company, which is traced back to the Plumpjack Winery in Napa, received more than $918,000 to retain 14 employees.
That doesn't balance out.
Joan Kotz owns John Kotz Farms, a family-owned winery business in Lodi. She received a PPP loan worth around $1.3 million and retained 141 employees. To put that in perspective, ABC 7's analysis found the average number of employees retained for every California winery that received more than $900,000 is 148.
The point of the loans were to retain as many as possible and really help businesses get through this tough time.
Kotz retained 141 employees with around $1.3 million. Assuming 60% is used towards payroll, a requirement of the SBA, that amounts to roughly $5,800 per employee for a period of 3 months. As a comparison, doing the same math, each of the 14 employees at Villa Encinal Partners would have received around $40,000 for a period of 3 months. ABC 7 reached out to Plumpjack Management Group a second time, requesting payroll records to see how each of the 14 employees of Villa Encinal Partners were paid. We received this statement. Plumpjack Management Group is operating within the federal guidelines created for COVID-19 SBA loan recipients. These funds have been critical in keeping our staff employed and continuing our operations. Any implication that we have done anything outside of the guidelines or that we have filed for forgiveness on the loan is irresponsible.
You know, if somebody ended up with, close to $1 million and had 14 employees, somehow, the math just doesn't work.
Steve Mayer is an accountant and financial consultant who's helped more than 200 businesses in San Francisco apply for PPP loans.
To be honest, the entire process was a mess unless you were able to either figure it out yourself or get professional help. The little guy, mom and pop people were completely passed over.
We have made a third attempt to reach the governor again today, but have yet to hear back. For a full look at our team's analysis, we have posted interactive graphs over on our website.